Good morning. My name is MaximTarantovich, and let me to present some information about status of the roller in Belarus. The roller was rather numerous and common species in Belarus till 1970s. But the rapid, almost catastrophic decreases of the roller number started in early 1970s. The present population of the roller no more than 20 pairs in 2 known locations. The last action plan indicate that roller only breed in Belarus, but some data demonstrate the birds are also migrate across Belarus, for example from Latvia. The present number of pairs is also need to be corrected. Unfortunately, it is decreased for 2 times per last 10 years. The number of known locations decreased from 5 to only 2. The main threats for roller in Belarus are presented on the slide, and they have not changed significantly in recent years. And use rate is critically low numbers of roller. Even a slight negative impact may lead to extinction of the species in the territory of Belarus. But anyway, we have some changes in better size since 2008. Nice to know that all roller nesting territories are protected. But it's very sad that it's only 2 areas. Several forest enterprises completed FSC certification, which intends to develop and implement long-term development strategy for switching from large clear cutting to stripped, coup, and selection cuts. There shall be left old or hollow trees, dead or lying wood, seed trees for local value. On the harvesting, there shall be left up to 10 big trees per hectare. Branches and slash materials stored in piles and promote the breeding of insects that are food for roller. The number of nest boxes is increased every year, which allows to solve the problem of lack of hollow trees in roller habitats. As you can see, we have not any hope for natural restoration of roller population in our country. Thus, we are together with Rafford Foundation make some activities to stop the reducing of rollers number and to save it in Belarus. I have already talked about protecting roller nest territory and nest boxes. Moreover, we successfully protect roller nest hollows from marten by plastic rings. But not only this. We try to improve the feeding base of rollers through the creation of conditions for attracting and breeding of large insects by placement of piles of manure and sawdust on nesting territory of the roller. We successfully used Polish experience providing on forage points on the roller nesting territory. Moreover, we increase of public and staff of forest enterprises awarenesses about necessity of the roller protection and about ways to realize these tasks. Some of data obtained using camera traps are the basic of the development and implementation of measures to improve rollers' forage. We have received the data shows the shortage of food supply for the rollers in the study area in Belarus during our investigations. On average, when there were 3 chicks in the nest, birds flew with food 36.9 times per day and 2.8 times per hour during the daylight. This value from 2.1 to 3 times less than the data obtained in other parts of the species area, for example, in south part of Russia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and France. Our findings about the time grades activity of roller near the nest are also atypical. Based on published data, the peak of feeding chicks occur in the first half of the day, while Our observations show that roller tends to be most active from 15 to 19 hours during the day. Increasing the amount of feed brings for chicks in the second half of the day, possibly due to lack of food resources needed for rapid saturation of adult birds in the morning. The maximum number of feeding of roller chicks was recorded when the temperature varied from 21 to 27 degrees Celsius. Active feeding of chicks is reduced by half compared with the maximum value at a temperature below 20 degrees and is at a minimum at a temperature below 16 degrees. Number of feeding may be not be sufficient for full development and even the survival of chicks in case of prolonged period with temperature below 20 degrees. For example, we noted the death of chick in condition of prolonged cold snap. The maximum temperature in this time did not rise above 18 degrees for 16 days. In this case, the providing of forage point with the Jamaican field cricket as a food can eliminate the deaths of chicks due to malnutrition during period of unfavorable weather. The data of the effect of various factors limiting of efficiency of chicks feeding gives the hope for success of measures taken to improve forage base of roller, even such as the installation of forage points up to period of stabilization and the beginning of the increase of population. About our monitoring methods, we maintain a close working relationships with Institute of Botany of the National Academy of Science of Belarus, which conducts forest taxation. We select the most promising areas that are potentially suitable for nesting roller on the basis of data received from them. Distribution of questionnaire forms and cooperation with public organization APB, BirdLife Belarus, and contact with all ornithologists of our country allows us to get all information about the presence of roller in the territory of our country. The action plan contains a sufficient number of actions that are sometimes very broad and provide a sufficient understanding of the directions of the protection of the roller. Okay. Sorry. Thus, some of the goals of the last action plan are completed by us, but not all from them. We continue the work according to plan and accordance with our possibilities, limited finances, and the need to the development of regulation of local and state level, such as protection of larger number of habitat areas of roller, increasing the financial responsibility of forest enterprises for cutting trees with hollows and failure to requirements of national action plan, as well as the introduction of new measures into the national plan and its implementation. The action plan contains a sufficient number of actions that are sometimes very broad and provide a sufficient understanding of the direction of the protection of the roller. Some measures, such as ensuring that all trees with holes are not cut by forest operation, are not operable without establishing a very high financial responsibility for violation of the requirements of maintaining these trees. Thus, increasing the responsibility for the violation is part of the general measure, but can also separate it in special measure to focus the attention. And the increase of the roller number in Belarus, which has reached a critical minimum by transporting, adaptation, and release of young birds from territories where species is numerous, can be a new aim for action plan.